If you plan to make it out to the annual Quincy citywide cleanup, there are a few changes this year.
This weekend is really a good time to clean out the garage, get rid of any junk that's lying around the house. We all have some of that, right? Live look this morning at the new location for the citywide cleanup tomorrow at 30th and Locust. You can see they also already have some of the barrels and cones in place to direct traffic. This is the old Motorola building parking lot at 30th and Locust. Now, construction was going on at the old location. That's what forced them to make the move to the new spot.
So Central Services says you can drop off that junk anytime tomorrow. It starts at 6 a.m. and goes until 2 p.m. The cleanup, though, is only for Quincy residents. I want to say that again, only for Quincy residents, and anyone disposing of the trash will need to show an ID. City officials say this actually benefits the community.
It's a good way to help clean up the city of a lot of stuff that just sits around and people just don't know what to do with it. And, you know, it does help quite a bit, and I think it's a good thing.
That's Kevin McLean. He says that you need to unload trash with help. You're going to have to do it on your own. There will not be a lot of people out there to help you. And here's a look at the items that you cannot bring tomorrow at the citywide cleanup. No electronics like those TVs and computers, no tires, no yard waste, no liquids like those oil, fuel, or paints. If you try to get rid of a refrigerator or air conditioner, you must have a sticker placed on it certifying that it has been properly reclaimed.
And a quick note for you, some of those items not accepted at tomorrow's cleanup event you can get rid of at the city's Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day, like those paint cans. That's coming up October 9th. You do need to make an appointment. We have all that information at WGEM.com.
If you haven't heard of the drug Naloxone, Quincy police say it's been a lifesaver on the streets for a few years now. Police say they've used 51 doses since 2016, but that doesn't include what EMS or firefighters have used. Last night, Recovery Anonymous hosted an event. They passed out 25 boxes to raise awareness about the drug and why it's needed in our community. Executive Director Gordon Doby says it's used to reverse the effect of opioids and prevent deaths. He says it's been a success here in Quincy.
The training for it was harmless. It was not extensive. And now I have the ability to perhaps save somebody, whether it is somebody that's in active addiction or it's a loved one that has overdone it with painkillers or whatever. You know, it's there.
You can find options on where to get Narcan and how to use it online at WGEM.com.
An important traffic alert for Quincy drivers this morning happening today. A busy portion of Main Street will close for repairs starting about 9 o'clock this morning. So if you're heading to work a little later, crews plan to shut down Main Street from 23rd to 24th Street. City officials say that workers will repair the traffic signal loops under the pavement. Drivers, you are asked to take a different route. Crews expect to wrap up about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
We're hearing more about boosters this morning. Lee County Health Department is seeing a demand for those COVID-19 boosters. They say right now, though, it's only for the immunocompromised, but the public has been calling, waiting to schedule those appointments. With that influx in requests that they've seen, health officials say they're considering a drive-through clinic now.
We're in discussions of possibly doing another drive-through clinic to administer the boosters. We'll also look at having people schedule appointments during our normal Wednesday clinics here at the health department.
Health officials believe that they are going to get enough doses to handle this, but it all depends on what the state sends them.
Overnight, the CDC's director endorsed Pfizer's COVID-19 booster shots for millions of older or otherwise vulnerable Americans. But the journey to get millions of Americans eligible for boosters has been a bumpy ride, with the FDA and CDC going back and forth. Britt Conway breaks it all down for us in a new report.
The FDA and a CDC advisory panel split over boosters.
This is the sharpest disagreement that I've seen in modern history between the two agencies.
Wednesday, the FDA gave emergency use authorization to Pfizer's COVID-19 booster for people 65 and up, those at high risk of severe disease, and people at risk because of their jobs. Thursday, CDC vaccine advisors met to talk about how to implement the FDA's authorization, and they were unanimous in recommending boosters for people 65 and up and voted easily on boosters for long-term care facility residents and certain people with underlying conditions. As for boosters for people at risk because of their work, after a long debate, they voted against it. Friday, an early morning announcement, the CDC director sided with the FDA, on all points, including recommending boosters for people at risk of getting COVID-19 because of their jobs. A former FDA commissioner says this kind of back and forth over boosters could have been prevented.
You might want to have a different process, and this should have been thought out from the outset. Perhaps we should have brought these two agencies together and reimagined a different kind of process where they work together from the outset to come up with unified recommendations. And I think as we go forward and plan differently for a pandemic, we might think differently about how we deploy a vaccine in the setting of a public health emergency like this.
Britt Conway, WGEM News.
Quincy University's annual fund drive is officially underway, and this year's goal is larger than last year. City Treasurer and QU Annual Fund Chairman Linda Moore says the 2021-22 goal is $1.2 million. Moore says the fund supports day-to-day operational needs such as classroom enhancements, lab supplies, scholarships, student emergency funds, and faculty development projects.
We have people who want to make sure that our current students and faculty have a wonderful experience here in Quincy. So we know they're going to want to support the university and support the learning environment and the experience that our students have.
Moore says there are several ways that you can donate to the QU Fund. You can call the office for advancement at 217-228-5227, or you can go online. We have that information on this story at WG.